what has been something you did that you felt bad about? So I did lose my shit at Tam recently. And yeah, I did kind of feel a bit bad about it because I did go a little bit too far. Um, and it was probably something that was just a bit, what's the word? Not petty, but like insignificant.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, so I did feel bad about that, and I came back to her about it, and I did apologise and try to sort that out, and yeah, we're all good.
Yeah, we're all good.
Should I say what it was?
I don't know. Oh, that's pretty bad. You can. It's up to you.
Nah, we won't.
I'll put it into context, guys. His variation of bad is nothing compared to what I've been to in the past when I've had fights. So to him, it felt really significant and really horrible. And while yes, at the time it was, not good, and it was just the heated discussion we had, and the time frame, and it was Christmas, and it probably added some emotions around that. Sorry, I'm fixing my phone because it's falling apart. But compared to what I've traversed with other relationships in the past, it's nothing compared. But to him, it was really a big moment. So I really appreciate you sharing that, babe.
You're
My
welcome.
question, you're going to hate me for this one. Actually, no, you're not. The next one you will. This one is how does he handle your success? Honestly, does it affect your masculine feminine balance? Ooh, okay. I'll be honest, at the start, so Jordan actually, out of every person I've been with, has never once been jealous or envious or not supportive at all. He's actually been the first person who's been my biggest cheerleader in this relationship of the success I have. Like, he's the one that wants to help me with my business in all parts that he can be able to help. If it's affected him in any other way, it's only brought more of a push for him to step up with his business and with his life, because we've spoken about this before. We were meant to basically, work together on your business thing, and we stopped doing that because it affected our relationship, because I was basically not switching off from work. So Jordan is
Yeah,
doing a lot of drop shipping stuff. Just to give you guys a bit of context, I did do a whole promotion thing that I was going to support him with, coaching him and documenting in, and I got so busy with work. And whenever we came back to doing his business, I was so much in my masculine and not switching off. We were then not present in our relationship. So we decided to not work together with his business goals, which I think has been really good for us. But he's also now taken the initiative, based on the successes I've had, into taking ownership and wanting to also step up in his goals as an entrepreneur and whatnot. Like, now he's doing everything with a mentor and on his own, which I feel like that's been his driving force, because he's watched me grow so quickly. Am I right in saying that? I could be making this up.
yeah, yeah. So going back to the start, like the your success has never been an issue for me. Like I'm like all for it. It doesn't emasculate me. It doesn't concern me at all. I've never been envious or, like you said, jealous. And it's something that your best friend Trufi noticed early on as well. He's like, "Oh, he goes, I like you because like you don't care about this side of her." No, I was like, "Why would I? Like I want you for the person you are, not for the success you have." So and yeah, like when it came to us working on my business together, it was exactly like you said. Like, even though, like, she would finish work and I'd be like, okay, babe, like, can you help me with this? Like, I need, to know how to do this with Instagram or blah, blah, blah. And because I had that, like, feeling of like she was committed to doing that, it was almost like an expectation. And that put a lot of pressure on us. And we
Mm,
were, like you said, never switching off. And it did start to become a bit of an issue. And I started to see it early on, and I started to pull back. And then Tam was like, why aren't you asking, whenever I would have troubles, why aren't you asking this person? Why aren't you asking me for this? And I was like, well, I do, but like every time I do, like it's an issue. So I'm just like going to step away. Like I just don't want to deal with it. I just find someone else who can help me. So then I started looking at mentors, and I got a couple. I trialed a couple. Wasn't really happy with them, and then I found someone through Discord that I started to replicate their results and just go from there. And it's just been a lot easier and better for our relationship.
And you know what? I am now, for those of you watching and listening, I'm putting a charger into my computer before it dies. Give me a sec. One of the biggest things I really appreciated is that we can both help each other in certain ways for the business rather than being fully into it. But Jordan and I have also probably maybe later on in our relationship, we'll probably want to support each other more in other ways in the businesses that we are both focusing on. And I know Jordan will probably want to help more down the track when he leaves his full-time job, and vice versa. When I've got more people on my team, I want to be able to be there for him just as much as being there for me. But I think what we've really established early on and going through that is that we really want to be there for each other for our relationship so that we can support our business outside of our relationship, which has been really big. So that was a tough one, wasn't it, babe?
Nah.
All right, what's my
I'm
next
guessing the
question?
next one's going to be uh, what's one thing you always do even when you fight? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, that makes sense. So like one thing
Yeah.
you do even when you fight.
One thing I do even when I fight. I know, both kind of stubborn, but we've gotten a bit better with that.
I think the question is more like,
Um,
what is one thing you try and make sure you do even if you are fighting? That's what it sounds like.
oh, okay. I guess communication was like it's the one thing we always try to do is communicate. Like even when we're fighting, it's always coming back to communication.
Yeah.
The other day in the car, like I said something that triggered Tam, and she like blew up at me in front of like a couple of friends. It was like, all right, what just triggered you? Like,
Yeah.
and then we got in the house, and she's like, well, I got triggered because of this. Like, and I was like, okay, well, like it wasn't meant that way. I was just asking, and we just navigate around it. So yeah, I guess it comes back to communication.
Yeah. I sound like I'm always losing my shit, which is not the case. But I find
You are Brazilian after
I
all.
am. I find that I can definitely contain myself, and then it's like that one thing which again comes back to more work that I believe I still need to do, that if there's things triggering myself, there's more things for me to look at. And I remember that fight in the car. It was something so stupid. It was like he had said something, and the way you said it, it's just the way you said it triggered me,
Yeah.
which is really funny. But
Oh, I know what it was. It was like I was like, oh, you're going on a boat, like, and you're like, yeah, I've told you. I was like, whoa.
you have my
But admittedly, you had a lot of stress on that day, so
it shouldn't be an excuse, but I appreciate you saying that.